Thank you. Jim Tietjen, class of 1972, coach. Jim Tietjen was a lifelong member of the Whitefish Bay community, graduating from Whitefish Bay High School in 1972. While at Bay, he was the football team manager. Jim then attended the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, where he majored in education with a minor in coaching. Jim returned to Bay in 1985, and in 1986 he was promoted to defensive coordinator, a position he held for 11 seasons. Bay won conference championships in 1986, 1989, and 1993, and made 3 playoff appearances. Jim left Bay in 1996, but returned to coach in 2000 and became the head coach in 2002. During the next 14 seasons, the team made 10 playoff appearances, including 9 consecutive from 2007 to 2015, and reached the state semifinals in 2012. Additionally, Bay won conference championships in 2012 and 2015. Jim was voted North Shore Conference Coach of the Year in 2004, 2008, and 2012. He was honored as the District 14 Coach of the Year in 2008 and was inducted into the Wisconsin Football Coaching Association Hall of Fame in 2014. It was written that Jim Tietjen was the genesis for the resurgence and the continued competitive success of Whitefish Bay football. Opposing teams knew that a game against Whitefish Bay meant they were going to be challenged both physically and mentally, and that the Blue Dukes would never back down. Jim's greatest strength, however, was in developing young men that took the lessons learned from football to guide their successes beyond high school. Speaking for Jim, Joe Tietjen.
All right. Probably not to get emotional with this, but for those of you who don't know me, I'm Joey. I'm the second oldest of Jim's 5 kids and his only son. Being his only son, I think I have a very unique perspective of his coaching career. For 9 years, I was his water boy. For 1 year, I played for him. 8 years, I was on his staff, and basically I had 31 years to be coached by him. Being up here to speak on my dad's behalf is a tremendous honor. It's also a little bittersweet. I know he would love to be up here to speak to all of you today. It's not actually like that, but good news is me speaking instead of him is going to be much shorter. We'll get through this. My dad loved Whitefish Bay football. He grew up here, he went to school here, started his family here, and there's no other place he wanted to coach. For 27 years, Jim Tietjen was Blue Duke football. In his first role as defense coordinator, Whitefish Bay won conference championships in 1986, 1989, and 1993. It was actually during these early years that the term Duke Pride was born. It was a hot summer, August 2-a-days practice. Players were dragging, everybody was hanging their heads and not really picking up the tempo. So he grabbed all the guys together, pulled them in, gave them a little speech. So there's probably a lot of other phrases that were used in the speech, but I'll stick with the basic ones that most of the players remember. Take pride in yourself. Take pride in what you do, take pride in your community, have Duke pride. After the practice, senior linebacker Kyle McKenna adopted the phrase along with his teammates, and it was their breakdown for the entire season. They went on in 1986 to win conference championship that year, coming off of a 7-loss season the year before. It's great to see that Duke pride is still used today, not only in football, but in all athletics across the board. In 2000, my dad returned to Bay as a voluntary role, because he wanted to coach me. In 2002, he became the first non-faculty member to be named head coach. 14 seasons, he won North Shore Conference titles in 2012, 2015. His teams made 10 playoff appearances, 9 consecutively, and reaching the state semifinals in 2012, just falling short in overtime to Wanakee, who went on to go play for state at Camp Randall. He was awarded North Shore Conference Coach of the Year 2004, 2008, and 2012. He also received the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association District 14 Coach of the Year in 2004 and 2008. And in 2014, he was inducted into the Wisconsin Coaches Association Hall of Fame. Not only have his accolades been noticed on the football field, but in the community as well, helping develop and shape young men for decades. I consider myself one of the only very few who had the privilege of not only being influenced on the field by him, but also in every aspect of my life. Whether it's through him teaching me hard work through 12-hour days of landscaping and then him dragging me to the weight room, or just giving me professional advice on pursuing my career, my dad was always someone who put my best interest first, give me honest, mostly blunt, clear advice. He always pushed me, making sure I lived up to my highest potential. I certainly know I'm not the only one who feels the same way about him in this room. Most of you have very similar relationships with him and very similar memories. He shaped who I am and many more in this community through his relentless hard work, strength of character, and huge heart. While we were going through all the stuff after my dad's passing, we went through and actually found his original letter applying for the position here. And so I just want to share with you the very last line of it, which I think speaks to him. He said, "Give me the opportunity to live out my dream, and I promise you that you will never be disappointed. I will make you and all of Whitefish Bay proud." I think we can all say that my dad lived up to his word. Thank you.